Hey you. Yes, you. Do you like nature? Do you like looking at the trees, the beautiful weather, the cannibals? Wait, what? Yeah, the cannibals. Do you like watching them eat people? Do you like chopping off their leg and eating it from their friends and family while they slowly bleed out in the gutter? Wait, you don't? Well, Sons of the Forest will make you, because this game is so fucking good. But wait, before we talk about this game, we have to shine a light over to its predecessor. The Forest is a survival horror game released in early access in 2013, and was widely loved by the gaming community. People loved its unique style of gameplay with in-depth base building mechanics, cool, eerie enemies that added a deep distilled fear into your soul, and wait, this can't be right. An actual story in the survival game. Unlike most survival games that just had a loosely thread together plot that leads you from place to place, this game actually has an in-depth story with an in-depth lore. There's an actual ending to this game, and I think that's cool because it gives the player something else to strive for besides finding shit to eat and grinding for better gear so you can fight the same enemies over and over and over again. I'm looking at you, Minecraft. But you get the point. The Forest was widely loved for being an actually unique survival game with interesting and unique mechanics. And now a full decade later, the sequel to that game is coming out, Sons of the Forest. The game was obviously highly anticipated, partially because the internet saw the sexy three-legged mutant in the trailer and decided to be degenerates about it. You fucks knew what you were doing when you added this into the trailer. The game was so highly anticipated that to meet our standards they had to push the game back. Twice. And it was looking like there was going to be a third one until Ed and Knight decided to give it an emergency C-section and throw it into early access. And ever since it's gotten consistent updates, but in around a month, the game is going to be fully released, and that's why I thought now would be a good time to make a video on it. Yep. That's the only reason why. It had nothing to do with that poll I started a few months back. The game starts off with you and your team looking for some rich people that are probably on Epstein's list, until your helicopter crashes, because of course it does. You survive the crash and then get non-consensually touched by whoever this is, and then you wake up. You're all alone, with no help. Except for this dude. Meet Kelvin. He's a deaf and probably mentally handicapped man who you can force to do physical labor around your base, which is very questionable. All I'm saying is that if you're saved from the island, then we're not going to be seen as heroes once they find out we've been putting the man with Down syndrome to work without providing him any food. Alright, since this is a survival game, maybe I should chop down a few trees and oh shit. I think all of us do. Holy shit, my game lags itself when I chop down trees because of all the snow particles.
Too much particles.
I need a better graphics card. Yeah, so I was a dumbass and didn't check the requirements needed to run this game. And when I did check because it was running like shit, I found out that I don't even meet the minimum requirements. But you know what? Me and my 1050 Ti powered through it, even with multiple crashes and low frame rate.
No, it's just sleep, actually.
Yeah. Oh, did my fucking game crash? No!
Save.
I can't!
I saved.
Yeah, but I don't know if that'll fuck... why? I did so much! In the beginning, all you have is a GPS, a knife, and a shitty hatchet. If you want better gear, you're gonna have to explore the rest of the world and the caves. We'll talk about those later, because I'm not mentally sound enough to talk about the cave fetuses after making that Epstein joke. On your GPS, you'll have 3 locations that you can go to. These are the locations of your squad mates, and you have to figure out if they're alive or not. Spoiler alert, they're not. But hey, look on the bright side, one of them left a beautiful piece of American machinery on his raft, so you can unleash all the powers of the Second Amendment on those cannibal motherfuckers. Speaking of the natives, these guys have some of the best AI I've ever seen in any game. They're not just mindless monsters that'll charge at you with no concern for their own well-being. They actually feel like living, breathing people. They'll fearfully crawl away from you when they're injured. They'll mourn they're dead. They'll get scared when you shake the head of their best friend at them. And all of these things make them feel more alive. They'll also react differently to you based on if you choose to fuck with them or not. If you leave them alone, then they'll leave you alone for a bit. But if you're like me and just need to show these guys a bit of the Second Amendment and a bit of the American way, then expect to get back to your home with Kelvin dead and your base ransacked.
It's every day.
I feel like... Shit! Oh yeah, speaking about the AI, I forgot. If they die, it's permanent. You don't get them back. We have a little group here. We've got Kelvin, we've got you, we've got the
Wait, do we have a shovel?
Oh, what the fuck? That's why he was running. There's a big black man following him. While we're on the topic of bases, I have to mention how in-depth the base building is in this game. Sons of the Forest makes the forest building look like itty-bitty toddler bullshit. Unlike the forest where you have these invisible outlines showing you where you can place logs, in this game, I can place logs wherever the fuck I like. This lets you build some rather insane stuff, or if you're like me, then you just build a big fuck-off box with no defenses whatsoever and call it a day. But if you're a bit more on the cautious side, you have plenty of options for defenses. You can build traps that take out cannibals, and yourself. Fuck. Or you can build walls that get destroyed immediately. Damn. And the base building doesn't stop there, because if you're a tree-hugging nature lover, then you can build a nice bench to watch the birds. Or you can maybe start a garden and start farming. Or you can build a clock that uses human hands. Wait, what the fuck? Yeah, End Knight has some weird obsession with making human furniture, and you know what? I'm here for it. It fits the whole theme of there being cannibals on the island, and I think they're kinda cool looking. Maybe I should start making human furniture. Moving on. Earlier I mentioned this three-legged mutant that the internet seemed to have taken a bit of a liking towards, and it doesn't help that its name is the Virginia. At first it watches you from afar, and if you try approaching it, much like real women, they run off in fear. Or is that just me?
I'm right-clicking, she's chilling though.
Hello, lady? It's just like real life! But eventually it starts to get more and more comfortable and gets to the point where you can actually give it clothing and weapons. On a side note, I got to the point where I could give her weapons, so I gave her a gun. And I guess there was an update or something, because when I got back on the game with my friend, her AI reset, so she just started running away from me. While she still had the gun.
Wait, why is she scared of me?
What? I gave you a gun. No, I gave you a gun. You can't do this. I gave you a weapon. No, give me my weapon back at least. No! So essentially, I got robbed by this bitch. So I did the only logical thing that there was. Shoot her.
That tree just fall on her.
I'm going to shoot
so
her.
I indirectly
Hold on, no, move. I'm gonna shoot her. You
I got
bitch.
shot. What?
Yeah, you did that. Now
Ow.
bitch.
What did I do?
Not you. I'm shooting her.
Almost dead. Oh, how did I take damage?
She's dead now. I killed her. Give me my Glock back. And that brings me to my next point. There are a large amount of bugs in this game, but some of the bugs I'm alright with. The good bugs, if you will. When you're thinking about good bugs, think about putting a bucket on the merchant's head in Skyrim and stealing all his stuff. It may be considered a bug, but it's funny and doesn't actually get in the way of the gameplay. Bad bugs are like when this happens. Thankfully, Sons of the Forest has a lot of these good bugs where it just makes you and your friends give out a little chuckle. That reminds me, the game's sense of humor is very odd. It takes the Deep Rock Galactic approach where it just adds funny shit in because it's funny. Does it make sense that there are electric unicycles all over the island? No, but I wouldn't have it any other way. This is the only game where I can have a nice sledding trip and then immediately cut a man's leg off and fucking eat it. This is the perfect time for the sled.
Oh wow, this is horrible placement. Oh well, let's go!
Oh shit, I bounced!
No, man. Oh shit, you ran, bro! Oh shit! Oh my gosh! I dodged all the trees! Let's go!
Oh! I'm too good! That combined with the fact that it has co-op gives the game a nice casual vibe that just makes you and your friends laugh and you shouldn't take very seriously. Or at least that's what I thought. Until I was forced to venture into the caves. If you want to know why this game is classified as a horror game, you'll find out once you go into a cave with nothing but a lighter, and then encounter the fucking finger thing. Meet the mutants. These are large, disturbing abominations that make me want to shoot myself every time I see them in a dark area. But I have to go down there. I have to deal with the cave fetuses, because all of the good shit is down there, and if I want the sniper rifle, or the shovel, to actually get a shotgun, I have to go down there. Great, now I'm shitting myself. It's so perfect how this game puts all of the important items in the caves where you don't want to go, and then that's when this horror tag strikes and gets you to piss yourself. And it's even more terrifying once you find out that the caves aren't the only place where these guys can spawn. If you spend enough time on the island, then these guys will start coming in raids and attacking you. So let me tell you how to handle them. Guns. Use guns. And if you can't use guns, then use explosives or Molotovs. Just do anything besides using a melee weapon. weapon. In this game, you shouldn't use melee weapons unless you're fighting one enemy, or you actually know what you're doing. If you're unexperienced with melee and try taking on, like, more than 2 enemies, then you're gonna get your ass beat. And based on the fact that you're tied up and surrounded by men when you respawn, I don't want to know what else they did to your ass. What I'm getting at here is that in every situation, a ranged weapon's probably gonna be better. The only times you should be using melee are in desperate situations, or if you're trying to save on ammo. But hey, if you're not gonna take my advice and use melee anyway, you're probably going to need some armor. And for this, you only really have 2 choices, because the others are pretty ass. I'll get to those later. Your first choice is bone armor. And guess what they're made out of? Bones. It's cheap to make based on the fact that you're kinda getting an endless stream of them. They can take quite a few hits before breaking. They're not the best, but they're not meant to be since they're usually for the early game. Your other option is creepy armor. You get this by skinning mutants and wearing it. Besides it being badass, it can also take quite a few hits and is usually meant for mid and late game. Now, let me talk about why the other armor is ass. The tech armor is very good, better than creepy armor, but it's way too expensive for what it is. Leaf and hide armor don't provide any protection. They're usually meant for stealth, which means they're not good in actual combat. And the golden armor is fine, but I don't really give a shit if I have to give up my creepy armor for it. Fuck no. I'm not giving up my abomination flesh to mitigate 70% damage from demons and 30 from cannibals. Like, it's not worth it, and I wanted it to be so damn much because it looks cool. It makes me look like a fucked up Power Ranger, but like, it just doesn't work well. On the topic of things looking cool, you can find quite a few cosmetic changes around the island. At first, it seems like these might just change your appearance, but think again. If I put the pajamas on before I go to bed, I actually get a better night's sleep. This is gaming at its finest. You can also give them to your companions, and yes, that does include the Virginia. So yeah, the modders are gonna have a nice time with that. Alright, I found no other place to say this, so I'm just gonna say it here at the end. Why can't Kelvin fight? That pisses me off. The guy's got Down syndrome. He has that retard strength with him. If I give this dude a katana, he could probably take out the entire cannibal population. Why can't I do that? Why, you pieces of shit? All in all, Sons of the Forest is one of the best survival games I've played. And that's saying something because of how many survival games there are and the fact that this one's still in early access. It's just really cool, and I think in many ways it's actually better than The Forest. And I can't wait for the final release. That's it for the video. I am so fucking done with this script. I've re-recorded this at least 4 times, actually. I think this is my 5th. And, yeah. I'm gonna start up a new poll once I actually have this video up, and, yeah, that's it. See ya.